It's been a hard week. Not a dramatic, crisis-level hard, just the slow burn kind. Deadlines, a difficult conversation you keep replaying, a low hum of tension that never quite turns off. You haven't said a word about it to anyone, but here's what's happening in your home right now. Your dog has been sleeping more restlessly, waking up when you wake up at 3 a.m., pressing closer than usual when you sit on the couch. And if someone ran a blood test right now, a proper cortisol panel, your dog's stress hormone levels would mirror yours with an accuracy that would genuinely shock you. Your cat, meanwhile, has been doing something else entirely. It's been running quiet diagnostics on your apartment, checking exits, spending more time near doorways, positioning itself at the highest point in every room it enters. Not because it's ignoring your stress, because it has decided your stress means the environment might be compromised. One of them has absorbed your anxiety into its bloodstream. The other has converted your anxiety into an architectural emergency protocol. And neither of them, not once, has done this consciously. This is not devotion as we romanticize it. This is something older, stranger, and far more profound. This is the biology of shared fear. And once you understand it, you will look at both of them completely differently. Let's begin with your cat's emergency exit plan, because that phrase isn't a metaphor. It is, neurologically speaking, almost exactly what's happening. First, let's establish something the science has made unambiguous. Cats are not emotionally detached. The 2019 Oregon State University study on feline attachment used the Secure Base test, the same protocol used to measure emotional bonding in human infants, and found that 65% of cats form a secure attachment to their owners. Secure, not tolerant, not habituated, secure. This means that you function, neurologically, as your cat's base of operations. When you are present and stable, they explore freely. When something destabilizes you, even subtly, their entire psychological model of the home begins to recalibrate. And here is where cats diverge radically from dogs. Cats are not social navigators, they are territorial architects. Every space they inhabit is internally mapped with extraordinary precision, what behavioral ecologists call a cognitive territorial map. This map isn't just about geography. It encodes safety, predictability, threat probability at every node. The doorway to the kitchen, the corner behind the sofa, the highest shelf in the bedroom. Each of these exists in your cat's mind as a data point in a living, constantly updated risk assessment. When you become stressed, when your breathing shallows, your movement patterns change, your voice tightens, your cat doesn't just register your emotional shift. It registers that the anchor point of its map has become unpredictable. This is what researchers call environmental unpredictability, and for a territorial animal, unpredictability in the environment's most important node, you, triggers an immediate behavioral response. The elevated positions, the doorway pauses, the slow, deliberate movement through spaces it usually crosses without thinking. This is called a security sweep. It is a systematic re-audit of every territorial node designed to answer one question: is this space still safe even though the signal tower is disturbed? And while it's doing this, while it's checking exits and recalculating risk, it is also watching you. Not your face, your body in space. This is behavioral mirroring, and it is far more sophisticated than it sounds. A 2015 study found that cats gradually synchronize their activity patterns with their owners over time: sleep cycles, rest windows, movement rhythms. But the deeper finding was physiological. Cats mirror your bodily states, the geometry of your posture, the pace of your breathing, the tension in your stillness. When your shoulders creep upward and your jaw locks and your breath shallows, your cat reads all of it. It is running a continuous, low-level body language analysis on the most important variable in its environment: you. Not because it wants to comfort you, because you are infrastructure, the most vital, load-bearing piece of its entire psychological architecture. And when that infrastructure shows stress fractures, it audits the building.
Now, let's talk about what's happening inside your dog, because this is where the story gets genuinely astonishing. The cortisol synchronization we mentioned in the opening, that is not a metaphor or an approximation. It is a measurable, peer-reviewed biological reality. A landmark 2019 study published in Scientific Reports tracked cortisol levels in dogs and their owners over extended periods, measuring hair cortisol, which reflects hormonal load accumulated over weeks and months, not just hours. The findings were unambiguous. Dogs and their long-term owners showed synchronized cortisol profiles. When owners experienced sustained stress, their dog's stress hormones rose in parallel, particularly in highly bonded pairs, particularly with female owners. Your dog isn't just sensing your mood in the moment, it is carrying your emotional life in its body over time. This is not loyalty, this is cortisol synchronization, a biological entanglement that has no equivalent in any other human-animal relationship on Earth. But to understand why this happens, we need to go back to the genetics. Dogs carry variations in a gene cluster called the WSBCR region, the Williams-Beuren syndrome chromosomal region. In humans, mutations in this region cause Williams-Beuren syndrome, a condition defined by an extraordinary, almost compulsive orientation towards social connection, hypersociality, deep trust, a powerful drive to read and respond to emotional states in others. In dogs, researchers believe these gene variants weren't an accident of domestication. They were selected for. Generation after generation, humans, consciously or not, kept the dogs who watched their faces, who checked in, who needed them, who became anxious when the emotional weather changed. The Clever Dog Lab in Vienna has documented how this manifests in real time through what they call referential looking. When a dog encounters an ambiguous or uncertain situation, it doesn't just react. It looks at you first. It checks your face for emotional data before deciding how to interpret the world. The University of Milan's research into dog-human interaction confirms this is unique among non-human animals. Dogs treat the human face as a primary information source, a living index of how to feel about everything around them. This is the Velcro effect in action. Your dog follows you from room to room not out of anxiety or overdependence, but because its brain is continuously running a navigation algorithm that requires your emotional state as its primary input. When you are calm, it calibrates to calm. When you are tense for weeks on end, it calibrates to tense, and the cortisol accumulates in both of you, together.
So why did these two animals end up so differently wired? The answer comes down to two completely different survival strategies, shaped long before either of them ever shared a home with us. Dogs descend from pack hunters, creatures whose survival was entirely dependent on reading the emotional states of their group members in real time. A misread signal, a missed sign of fear or aggression in a packmate, could be fatal. Over tens of thousands of years, that social intelligence turned outward, toward us. The human face became the map. Our emotional states became the territory they learned to navigate. They seek visual access to us not because they are dependent, but because we are their most important data source. Cats took the opposite path, solitary hunters who survived not by reading others, but by owning space, by knowing every exit, every threat vector, every irregularity in the environmental pattern that might signal danger. Their intelligence is architectural, not social. When you entered their world, you didn't replace the territory. You became the most important node within it. So when stress enters your home, your dog scans your face because you are the signal tower, and your cat scans the room because you have just introduced a variable into the map. Two survival systems, two ancient intelligences, both oriented in their own irreducible way entirely toward you. Here's what I want you to carry with you.
The next time you notice your dog pressing against your leg on a hard night, understand that its cortisol is rising to meet yours, that it has been carrying the weight of your difficult weeks in its own body, that it is not just offering comfort, it is biologically fused to your emotional experience in ways science is only beginning to fully map. And the next time your cat disappears to the highest shelf during a stressful period, understand that it is not retreating from you. It is protecting the world you share, running its security protocol, making sure that every corner of the home it has built around you is still intact. Neither of them has words for what they're doing, but both of them are paying a biological cost in cortisol and cognitive load and years of careful calibration to stay inside your emotional orbit. That is not instinct performing love. That is love, written in stress hormones and territorial maps and an evolutionary bond so deep it shows up in the blood. Take care of them, because in ways you may never fully see, they are already taking care of you. If this changed how you think about your pet, subscribe. We go this deep every single week. And tell us in the comments, has your pet ever seemed stressed exactly when you were? Tell us what you noticed, because now you'll know exactly what was happening.